Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to our TGIF Talks, episode 131. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, Joe, my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Hello.
Let's roll the intro. Wouldn't you like to get away? So much to talk about, so little time. I think the first thing was I went to pick up my bowl today.
Oh yeah.
Where's my webcam? Why is it not showing up? Oh, webcam. Oh, there it goes. It wasn't. So it had an issue they called crawling, where like the glaze tries to come away from the ceramic, and so they had to refire it. They said it's not a big deal. It'll be fine.
Oh, so you don't have it yet?
No. And they said it'll be ready Wednesday, and I'm like, you know what? I've got a piece that'll be ready Friday. I'll just come back Friday.
Oh, you're sending them something else?
I had already sent them something else. So I had a bunch of that Galaxy glaze left.
Mm-hmm.
I had a ton of white. I still have a ton of white. And so I was like, you know what? So I was like looking for another piece. I wanted a plate or something, but they didn't have any plates because it was a Monday after the weekend.
Oh, Mondays after the... Oh, so are you going to go back to get a plate?
So I found these wreaths. So they're a big circle, complete flat, complete flush. There's a fire outside. Interesting. And then there's a hole in the center. So you could paint on it whatever you want. And so I was like, well, maybe this would be like a black hole type of thing or something. So I painted it with the Galaxy. And I could only do one side because I barely had enough to do 3 coats of it, which is weird. I asked them, I'm like, the Galaxy stuff seems way darker than the traditional black. I'm like, does it need 3 coats? And they're like, yeah, it needs 3 coats. And I'm like, okay. I did a test on the back. I put 1 coat on the back to see how dark it would be. And so if I were to ever do another piece, be like, I didn't need to do so many coats. But anyways.
Oh, okay. So you did 3 coats on one side, 1 coat on the other, and you're going to compare them?
Well, I just did like a line. I didn't have enough to do a whole side 1 coat.
Well, that might affect the results, though.
I think it'll be fine. It was literally just I just brushed it on. I didn't want to use too much because I need to do 3 coats on the front.
Yeah.
So, and then I made a white ring around the middle center, and then like a spiral outside kind of type thing with the white. And then, like, some random big stars, even though, like, really big stars compared to what will be from the Galaxy glaze.
The only thing I could think of why it might need 3 coats is because it's going to get so hot that all the clay, all the particles are going to reform into, like, almost like this liquid, right?
Yep.
To fill in all the little gaps and form, I don't know if it's like a crystal, but basically, it's going to harden to the point that there's no pores. And so all that paint is also going to liquefy and get sucked in. And I wonder if it's going to get sucked in enough that it's just going to become light, almost like a gray.
On the back or on the front?
On the side that does not have 3 coats.
Right. But like, it's so much, like...
Which is kind of crazy, they get it hot enough to, like...
I know, it turns into glass.
Liquid, but it's like a liquid.
Yeah, it turns into glass.
It's liquid, and it just sort of solidifies, it liquefies into itself.
Mm-hmm. It is possible, but like, when you paint this on, it's like comparing... It's so dark. Like, in the cup, it looks like the same amount of black as is the regular black. But when you paint it on, it is dark. It's like, I don't have another gray. Like this is even, maybe in the camera this looks light enough. Like, this is, no. The bowl the general color of the bowl after 3 coats of black is lighter, is a little lighter than this.
Wait, so you bought the bowl? It was white, right? Or gray, or
it was white. Yep.
so so when I did pottery, if I remember right, it was like there's almost like brown, like dark, very dark
Terracotta.
gray
Yeah.
clay. Oh, it's terracotta. Okay, because I remember then, you let it harden for like a couple days, like over the weekend, right? And then you glaze over that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering how do they have? Is white just a completely different mixture of sand and stuff?
So
Or like why is it white?
it's just whatever. It's the clay particles. So I mean, remember the gray?
It's just a different sand or whatever.
Not sand, clay. Sand and clay are two
What?
different. Sand and clay are two different things. It's a whole soil
What
thing.
is clay made? What is clay made out of?
It's the same thing, but it's particle size.
Clay is okay.
It's particle size. So I think clay is the smallest.
What emulsifies it?
Clay.
What? I'm sorry. What?
So
What holds the particles together?
clay. So the
Clay.
So clay. So you have to think of it this way: sand, clay, and silt are all the same material.
It's all silicon dioxide.
Yep, it's all silicon dioxide. Yep. It's all silicon dioxide.
Okay.
However, there's different particle sizes. So sand has the biggest, and then I'm pretty sure silt, then clay. I'm pretty sure silt's in the middle.
So clay is a very small particle size.
Very small. Because it has a tendency has a hard time settling out of water. It can, and it does, but compared to silt.
Why does firing clay not turn it into glass?
I think it's because of how small the particles are. I don't know. There's got to be something else. You're probably right. There's also something else in clay.
Because there's got to be something that such that when you fire it, it becomes transparent versus opaque.
Well, I think normal sand, if you fire it, it would turn.
Well, I think porcelain, like China, if it's thin enough, I think it is translucent, right?
It's yes, translucent, not transparent. Translucent.
Yeah, translucent. I think porcelain, like fine China, is translucent.
Oh, we'll look this up here. Difference between clay, between glass
and clay,
and pottery.
Pottery, yeah, pottery.
Okay, the main difference between no, I don't want kiln. I just want between glass and pottery. Ceramics are crystalline, where glasses are amorphous.
Okay.
Hence, glasses progressively soften upon heating and never melt. As such, ceramics almost always exhibit high melting temperatures and thermal stability. So it's got to be because of that. It's got to be because of... It has to be... We can look
up. The
way
the bonds are formed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the bonds form the way they do, but it has to be the way the bonds are forming. I wonder if there's something else in it. If there's another molecule.
Great, thanks. I asked chemical, not frickin' element. Thanks, Encyclopedia Britannica. I want... Some clay minerals are expressed using ideal chemical formulas. As the you don't tell me... Great, but I don't know... So there's other things in it, I think. But the main thing is silicon dioxide.
Which is what glass is.
So the silicon dioxide ratio is a formula. In a formula is the key factor for determining clay mineral types. But the basis of variables of clay composition, atomic structure into 9 groups. Mica, chloride, okay. Great, cool. So derived or chemically. So yeah, so it's not. So it is, but isn't. So glass is like pure silicon dioxide.
Yeah.
Clay has other things mixed into it.
Yeah. We'll call them impurities.
Yeah. But these impurities are what gives it its
properties.
Its properties, yeah.
Sure.
As we're glass, well, I mean, glass has other things in it, like most of it's actually sort of borate glass anymore. Any good glass, anyways, has boron in it.
Oh, okay.
So, because there's soda lime glass and there's soda bor, like it's I don't know how to say it, but there's soda lime and then there's one with boron in it.
Yeah. Well, because I don't.
And the boron's actually.
I know at an atomic level, the difference between transparent and opaque is that as light photons, from around the room in the sun, as they interact with the atom, they do not have enough energy to excite the electrons to a new energy level. And so they pass straight through.
Right.
And so, something that's, like a door or like clay, as light hits the atoms, it excites them to a new energy level. They release a photon of that energy level, which is a color. But for glass, that photon passes all the way through as white light, and it never releases its color until it hits another opaque material like the wall behind it.
But what's interesting is that
there is in fact a higher. Is that it's not like it doesn't have an energy level. There is an energy level, and it's UV light.
Right.
UV light passes through glass, and it has a high enough energy to excite the electron to a new energy level, which is why it's very hard to get a suntan in a closed car.
Right. We also design the glass to do that. We don't want we don't want the interiors of cars being faded by sunlight as fast. Yes. They also, I think it also depends on the atoms that are in there, because some atoms, and it also depends on like the way the bonds are made, because because we'll see it peak in different wavelengths.
The glass isn't completely transparent. Like, you can tell there's something there. It's not like it's invisible.
Sometimes.
You can tell that there's something there.
Sometimes, if you get it clean enough and the sun.
Well, yeah, that is true. I have cleaned my door. I'm at my parents' house. Like the door to the back door. If you clean it well enough, it'll look like you can just walk straight through it.
Like my window right in front of me right now.
I know the dog's done it too. I cleaned the door well enough that the dog walked straight into the door and then didn't realize that the door was shut.
My window right in front of me here in my room the side that doesn't have the screen, it's pretty damn transparent. Like I know there's glass there, and
But like if you walk, it looks like you could stick your hand out.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
No, but like it doesn't, like certain glass, doesn't it like absorb different infrared though? Because I feel like.
Oh. I do know what you're talking about. It has a greenhouse effect.
Yeah, because like there has to be. I think there is like the logic is sound, but I also think there's some fancy quantum mechanics going on. There is a slight
flaw. There is a slight, physics is notorious for, that is basically how it works, except for there's always this hand-wavy notion of, well, there is this exception because of this.
Because it's quantum mechanics.
And I think infrared is an exception, but I don't know why it works the way it does.
Probably quantum mechanics.
What?
It's quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
If light doesn't do what you think it's going to do, it's probably because of quantum mechanics or relativity.
Yeah.
If something funky, if it interacts with the material in a funky way that you weren't expecting, it's probably quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
So, damn quantum, like the atmosphere, it's transparent in certain wavelengths, but not others. Like thermal radiation, like infrared, it's basically, opaque. At certain wavelengths. And invisible light, it's basically translucent. But ultraviolet, well, different parts of the atmosphere absorb it differently. The ozone layer is really good.
Well, 99% of it is absorbed.
Yeah.
It's that 1% that makes it through that you need to put sunscreen on. If all 100% of the UV rays made it through, we'd be fried.
Yeah.
We would be fried.
Wouldn't be a good time.
But 1% makes it through, and it's that 1% that can cause cancer because the UV light damages the DNA in the cells or something like that. Or
that's exactly what happens.
The mutation. It causes an incorrect copy to be made of the DNA. It leads to mutations or something like that.
Bro, you want to talk about incorrect mutations?